Can you do this? Yeah, anybody with a little bit of mechanical knowledge can do this. Should you do this? No, I'd predator swap it. This was far too much work. I do have stock Kohler motor now, but it wasn't cheap to rebuild parts and stuff. I'll have all that at the end of the video, a little bit of a list of what I bought to make this thing happen. But yeah, I would have predator swapped it except for one thing. The high output charging coil that you can buy aftermarket for the Predator is just not available. All right, let's see what happens here. I'm not doing a complete build video. There are much better videos on YouTube than what I can make about rebuilding a Kohler motor. But I am assembling the cylinder heads and I'm getting ready to install the lifters. I found out from a video on YouTube that you have to bleed the lifters. I will include a link to that video in this eXmark playlist. So if you're interested in looking at that video, you can see. Anyway, this is a 5/16 socket. I think you said 5/16. That's what I got out. Yep, 5/16 socket. And if you don't bleed the lifters, you'll end up bending the push rods. And you can kind of see I am putting a fair amount of pressure on this clamp just to get that thing to start moving. And one thing that he did say in the video is that it's pressure over time that gets that lifter to bleed. You can see the oil slowly starting to come out now. And yeah, that would bend the crap out of a push rod if you spun that over. I found out when I was doing the first one, this is my second one, that I had to do it 3 times before it was easy to move every time. But we're slowly bleeding oil out of it. And this is the 3rd time. I'm going to scoot it back just a little bit because this clamp is bowing a little. Yep, that went right down real easy. And I believe that is all the way. There's a little bit of oil still coming out of it. I'll let that sit for a little while before I put it back together. Keeping things somewhat organized. I have a box. I put the lifters in when I take them out so I get them back in the right place. And when they're bled out, they're easy to move. Well, the engine's back from the machine shop. It's been bored out 20 over like I asked for. And I don't know if the camera can see that. I'll put a picture in here of what I'm looking at. But you can still see where that rusty spot was at, but you can't feel anything. So I'm going to say that's going to be good enough for what we're doing. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to smooth out the top of this head a little bit. You can probably see a few scratches and stuff that are in it. No real seriously deep gouges, but I've done a couple passes with a little piece of sandpaper taped to a mirror. I've kind of rubbed it around on there a little bit, and you can see there are some high and low spots. So I'm just going to smooth it off with this rather than go at it with the scraper again like they did before. I've got a little bit of water right back here, so I can, break the mirror. So I can dampen this down a little bit. Not really trying to remove a whole lot of material, just want to take off the high spots. Keep the pressure down in the middle and just drag it back and forth a little bit with this hand. Oh, a little too high. Looking much better already. Still see a few little scratches right over in here. Zoom you in a little more. A few little scratches right there that are a little deeper than everything else, but the head gasket will seal on what we have there, but I'm going to just work on it just a little bit more and try not to pull down or up on this so that I don't twist it out of line and make this whole thing domed. Probably could clamp this block down a little bit so it doesn't wiggle around so much. Yeah, you can see they went at this with a wire wheel. Clean a little bit of the heavy stuff off it so it doesn't clog up my sandpaper too fast. All right, start sanding away on this one and see what comes out of it. Yeah, some spots are a little higher and a little lower. I mean, the head gasket would probably seal all of that up, but I'm going to clean it up. Whoa, there's a bad one right there. Little nick in it. Oh well. We'll see what we can come up with. Whoops, almost forgot. Stuff some rags down in here. Seal up the lifter galley so everything doesn't just pour down through there. Now we're ready to sand. All right, I've been sanding on this for a couple minutes now. You can still see a lot of scratches through here. You can see an area right here where it's gouged down in pretty deep. This is why you don't use power equipment, wire wheels, any kind of roll-lock disc, anything on an aluminum head. You can see some scratches right here that are pretty deep, and they go right across where the cylinder head's going to seal, and a few up here at the top. So I'm going to have to work on this for a little while to get rid of these. This is what I mean. The longer you work on this, the worse you're going to get about watching where you're at, and pulled it up too high, caught the edge of the sandpaper, tore the crap out of it. But keep working at it. Getting better. Still got some deep ones right here and up here though, and right there. Wow. Found it kind of works best if I put my palm of my hand on the middle of it to keep it from rocking, wrap my fingertips around it, and then just push back and forth between these fingers and this hand right here. Slow and steady, and I may not end up with a dome shape. Just got to get rid of those deep gouges. Oh, they're disappearing. Slowly. Man, that one is deep. Oh yeah. Now my question is, after doing all this on this side of the block, do I have to go do the other side of the block to even up the compression? I don't think I'm taking that much off. Just about the time you're convinced this probably isn't going to work, you get to the point where you think it might work, because I can just barely feel that now. Oh, back to it. Well, that's what we ended up with. Got rid of most of those deep scratches right there. I'm never going to get rid of all that. I'll put a picture in here. I don't think I took a picture at the very start, but I did take a picture partway through of what these scratches look like. And you know what they say? People will ask, you can do that? Well, I don't know if you can do that, but I did it. Tape a piece of sandpaper to a mirror, and it takes a lot of patience and a lot of elbow grease. Nice to have air conditioning too, because this job would be very hot without this, and keep some pressure on the center of it. Keep working. I suppose it took about 45 minutes or so to get this one down to where it is. When I tape this sandpaper down, sometimes the water will get around the edge and it'll make this come loose right here on top. So what I like to do with the edge of the sandpaper is I kind of double tape it like that. Tape it from the back side with a narrow piece of tape. That way the sandpaper is held on both sides. Moisture usually doesn't get between the tape and whatever you're taping it to, especially if it's glass. All right, well, that took a while to get all that stuff cleaned off my hands. Probably should wear gloves when you're doing that. Anyway, it is ready to go. Well, it's ready to go out and get cleaned up. Looks a whole lot better than it did before. The head gasket should be able to seal on that. Got new heads to put on it. Go clean this thing up, start assembling it. Well, I would say that looks a whole lot better than it did before. It'll probably seal, maybe, possibly. Could have this part caused some of the oil use? I don't know. Anyway, I'm breaking this video up into several parts, otherwise it'll get extremely long. The only thing I'm going to cover is things that I found interesting or things that I did different on this motor that you'd find on a standard rebuild. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. You know the drill.